let's talk about money tools that every beginner needs to build wealth, and tools are supposed to make your life easier, right? So for example, if you're trying to go on vacation, then you know that you have a lot of options in terms of where you want to stay. So you could do like Airbnbs, you could do hotels, you could do like an all-inclusive resort. But if you're not from the place that you're actually trying to go vacationing at, then you won't know how to get the best prices. And so what you'd have to do is you'd have to call all these different hotels and browse all these different Airbnbs and resorts to try to see what the prices are. And instead of doing that yourself, you could simply just use a tool like Expedia or Kayak, which compares all the prices, filters down everything for you, or you can actually put your filters in based on what you're looking for, and then you get narrowed down search results with the options that match exactly what you're looking for, and that is a tool that would help you out a lot. So if you're trying to take care of your personal finances, then you should use all the tools available to help you. And when I was younger and I was first starting to try to take control of my personal finances, I didn't know a lot of this stuff and I didn't know what tools to use, and eventually I was able to figure it out, and most of the stuff is simple, but if you don't know, then I guess you just don't know. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all the tools that you need, which are going to be simple, basic tools. And by the way, these tools are not going to require you to sign up for some subscription. It's not going to cost you anything. These are all free tools that you should be using if you're a beginner and you're starting out and trying to build wealth. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Ian, and on this channel, I talk about ways to make money, ways to save money, ways to invest your money. I talk about bank accounts, credit cards, and just about everything to do with personal finance. So if you like these videos and you like these types of topics, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. It's 100% free. It won't cost you anything. Also, be sure to subscribe with the notifications on. That way you won't miss the updates of when I post new videos. And if you ever want to talk to me one-on-one about this or just about anything else, you can message me on Instagram. The link is down below in the description. But that said, let's get into the money tools that every beginner needs. So the first tool, or the first set of tools, are going to be your simple banking tools. And these will include like a checking account, a savings account, and then we'll talk about the credit card. Now, I knew this girl, right? And believe it or not, she had a checking account and she had a savings account, and she said something that was really shocking, and it literally gave me a headache. So she used her checking account to save money and her savings account to spend. And this was the strangest thing I've ever heard. In fact, I was trying to tell her, I was like, hey, do you know that you could get fined a fee for doing multiple transactions in your savings account? And she was like, oh yeah, you know what? They do charge me a fee sometimes, and I don't know why. And at that point, I was just like, just please stop. Don't tell me anymore. And I couldn't believe that this person didn't know the difference between a savings account and a checking account. And I'm the type of guy that likes to talk about money, banks, accounts, credit cards, and all that stuff. And this is the main reason why I'm here making these videos, because when I talk about this stuff around people that I know, they don't want to hear it. They're tired of hearing me talking. They tell me I talk too much. They don't want to hear it. So this is why I come here and I make these videos, and I can talk about it every single day. But at this particular moment, or at this particular time, I did not want to hear anymore, because I just couldn't believe that someone did not know the difference of a checking account and a savings account. But then I thought about it, and then I was like, well, you know what? I guess if you just don't know, then you just don't know. Now, we can talk about fees and all that stuff, but honestly, it's not much or that really important. And so you want a checking account, and the only thing you need to do is to look for good service, low to no fees, and actually it should be no fees, like 0 fees, because in 2022, you definitely don't want to be paying fees on a checking account. So just find a good checking account that doesn't charge you any account maintenance fees, doesn't charge you any ATM fees. They give you a debit card and they don't charge you any fees for taking money from your account. And the second thing that you want to look for is a really good savings account. Now, the savings account doesn't necessarily have to pay you a lot in interest, because let's face it, you could have a savings account at a reputable bank that gives you good customer service and they have good products, and the interest rate is, let's say, 1%. And then you have another savings account at another bank that's not so good. They're giving you 1.5% in interest. So if you have $1 million in that savings account, then yes, I guess it would be a big deal. But for the average person who has like $1,000 or $10,000 or maybe even $25,000 in that savings account, the difference between 1 and 1.5% is only 0.5, and over 12 months, 0.5% off 1,000 is only $5. So it's not that much of a big deal when it comes on to interest rates. But I would say if it's like a bank that's giving you 0.01% in interest and then the other bank is giving you 1.5% in interest, then that would be the difference between like 5 cents and $5. So in that case, yes, it would make sense, but don't worry too much about the interest rates for your savings account. The most important thing for a savings account is that the savings account is actually FDIC insured, meaning that when you put your money in that savings account, if anything happens to the bank, if they go bankrupt or something else, your money isn't completely gone and it is insured. Now, you may be saying, well, Ian, why do I really need a checking account and a savings account? And why don't I have just a checking account where I get paid, I spend all my money? And this is kind of like personal finance 101. But you want to have a checking account and a savings account because, as the name suggests, one is for checking and one is for savings. So if you keep the money that you earn, whether it's from your job or your business, in a checking account, and that's the account that you use to do everything, like you earn there or you earn money and it goes there, and then you spend and it comes from there, then it's much easier to spend money that you don't want to spend. And so you want to keep these two accounts separate so that when you put money in a savings account, it's still accessible. You can still access this money easily, but it's not just in the account that you spend from. And this way you can't just impulsively spend this money or impulsively overspend on something just because you have extra money in the account that you can see while you're spending. Also, savings accounts come with limitations. Most savings accounts, you can't do more than 6 transactions per calendar month, or you will be charged or fined a fee. If you do this too many times, your account could be shut down. So this is another reason why you should also ensure that you're not using your savings account as a checking account and your checking account as a savings account. Now, the next thing that you need is to get a credit card. And if this is going to be your first credit card and you're just starting out, then here's what you need to look for. One, you need to look for a credit card that comes with no annual fees, because the last thing that you need is to be spending $129 per year for a credit card when you're not even spending $129 on this credit card in a year. Now, the purpose of a credit card is to, one, build your credit up so that whenever you want to make bigger purchases, like a car or a house or something else, you can actually get the credit that you need and you'll have a good credit score. And so you want a credit card that comes with no annual fees. You want a credit card that gives you some type of rewards, and you want this credit card to be a credit card that you can keep open forever. Now, you want to keep this credit card open forever because your first credit account is very important, because essentially it's going to control the age of your oldest credit account. If you ever close your oldest credit card, the age of your credit is going to fall. So ensure that whatever credit card you choose is something that you can see yourself using forever. And this is why I suggest that you get one with no annual fees. And that way, even if you don't want to use it in the future, you don't have to close the account because it's free and it's not actually costing you anything. Now, if you're getting a regular credit card, that may be it. But if you're getting a secured credit card, there's one more thing that you want to do, and you want to choose a secured credit card that has the potential to graduate to an unsecured credit card. And that way, you can also hold on to this credit card forever and not have to close the account. So now you have the checking account where you get paid and where you spend from. You also have the savings account that you're putting money into for savings. And now you have your credit account where you're able to use it to build your credit. And this way you can have access to credit in the future. So this is kind of like your banking stack of tools, and this is the first set of tools that you're going to need. Now, if you're wondering what banking tools I use for personal accounts, I use Discover for checking and savings because, one, it's free, there's great customer service. I also use Chime, SoFi, Chase for checking accounts as well. And then for credit cards, I use Chase because they have really good rewards. I also use Discover for credit cards as well. And for business, I use Chase's business accounts and also their business credit cards because, again, it's free and there's relatively good customer service. Now, these accounts, the primary reason I have them is not because of the interest or the rewards that they give me, except for the credit cards, but the primary thing was ease of access, good customer service, responsive customer service, and also the ability to do certain things within the app. So for example, if I'm traveling internationally, then I can simply use the Chase app to allow international transactions. I can also call them from a toll-free number from just about anywhere. There's also travel insurance. It covers car rental insurance. And I like the features like this because I know that I'm gonna need things like this. And this is why I prefer to use them. So think about what you actually need and prioritize your needs and the ease of access over the actual rewards or interest that you're getting. And that will help you to find the best tools. Now, the next tool that you're gonna need is a simple tool, and this is called a budget. And if you have SoFi, you can do like a budget with them, or you can use Every Dollar, which I think is still free, but you can simply just use pen and paper. And basically this budget is just really simple. It's like a caveman budget, and you just need your income on one side and your expenses on the other side, because you've always got to know how much money you're making and how much money you're spending. You never want to be that person that has a credit card that's charging you $129 per year in annual fees when you're not actually even using the credit card. And you don't want to be the person that has 5 gym memberships at 5 different gyms and you're only going to one gym and you just don't remember about the other 4 and you're getting charged for it every single month. Now, aside from that, if you want to keep your personal finances together, you're going to need a budget. And I know you may be saying, well, Ian, I don't make that much money, so I'll save this budget for later and I'll create the budget when I actually start making more money. But this is the thing, right? If you don't create a budget and you don't create the habit of managing the small amount of money that you have now, when you get a lot of money, you're not going to be able to manage that money. So start now, start today, and that's the next tool or the second tool that you need. You need a budget. Now, the third tool that you're going to need is some form of retirement account. And basically, all you're doing here is you're putting away a small percentage of your income today for your future. And so this could be in the form of like a 401k or a Roth IRA or probably just a brokerage account. And then depending on who you are and what you do, this will determine which one of these accounts you have. And so for example, if you're making too much money, then you won't be able to open a Roth IRA. If you don't have a job, then you won't be able to open a 401k account. And so it depends on who you are and what you do for a living. But the point here is that you need some type of retirement savings account or some type of retirement investment account. And the main idea here is that you want to be investing at least 15% of your income consistently for your retirement. If you're thinking that you don't make enough money right now to save or to invest for retirement, I suggest that you read the little book of Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle, who's the guy that founded Vanguard Group. And basically, I'll give you a short rundown of this book, but you should still go ahead and read the book yourself. But basically, in the book, he showed that even the best people who had like Ivy League education, they weren't able to beat the market year over year over year. And so you stand a better chance of being successful in investing by simply buying a broad market index fund and dollar cost averaging into that index fund. Now, it doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers at Burger King and you're making $7.25 an hour. You should still be investing or putting away some money for your retirement years. And that is going to be the third financial tool that you need. Now, I could make this a bit more complicated. I could give you guys a bunch of apps to sign up for and a bunch of websites to go on and all that stuff. But basically, all you really need are these 3 free tools. You need a banking stack, which is your checking account, savings account, credit card. You also need a budget, and you also need a retirement account. And by the way, guys, when I was working at the Waste Management and I was only making $11 an hour, if I hadn't created a budget then, although I knew that I wasn't making a lot of money, I don't think I would have come to the realization so quickly that, hey, this is actually not going to work out for you very well. If you want to own anything of any value or significant value, and because I created that budget when I was only making $11 per hour, I quickly realized that, hey, this is definitely not going to work out and I need to earn a lot more money so I can afford to have anything that I want, which included being able to invest. And the main point is this: you don't want to skip out on any of these tools, even if it sounds too simple or too basic, especially the budget. I know that a lot of people tell themselves that they don't need a budget, especially if they're not making a lot of money, but you don't want to make the mistake of not being able to manage your money and not being able to see your true financial picture earlier on when you don't have a lot of money, because when you do have a lot of money, you won't be able to manage it, or maybe you just won't be able to see how much money you actually need. So if you don't have a budget, then you don't know that you need X amount of money to get the car that you want, or X amount of money to get the house that you want. And you don't know how much more money you need to earn per hour or per month or per year to actually get the things that you want. So I hope this video helps you out. And with that said, comment down below, let me know the worst thing someone has ever told you that they've ever done with their personal finances. Like, for example, has anyone ever told you that they had like a credit card that had a ridiculously high fee and they weren't even using it? Or do you also know someone who's using their checking account as their savings account and their savings account as their checking account? Comment down below and let me know the worst thing you've ever heard. So with that said, thanks for watching, all the best, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next one.